I would like to start to talk about fear. Has anyone here felt afraid sometime? Okay, so I guess, but is there anyone who has never felt afraid? No, you know that fear when you walk in the night and you walk in the tunnel under the road, and you take a right, and there's a guy standing in the tunnel, and it's super dark, and you're like, ugh, super afraid, but nothing happens. This was a fear I felt a lot of time in my childhood. And I'm from Sweden, and I think it's perceived as a very safe country. You're not supposed to be afraid. But from where I'm from in Sweden, we had a lot of problems. We had right extremists, and we had left extremists, and we had like the middle ground. And in '95, there was a big murder by some right-wing extremists, so they murdered a guy who was camping. So it was not very safe in my childhood. And I remember one time when I was in school and I was standing by my locker, and the guy walked past me with a big black jacket. He was walking and he had shaved his head, and he had a big swastika on his arm. And then you think, is this real? But then I felt afraid. And this was reality in this region in Sweden. But then came a guy, and he said, this is not how it's supposed to be. So he created a project where he said, first they had tried to change this. They had tried to send people to jail, send people to talk to the police, etc. But nothing worked. But then he said, I will take 30 students who are around 14, 10 who are from right extremist environment, 10 who are from left, okay, so I guess this is your left and this is my right, and 10 who are from right extremist, and 10 from left, and 10 who are from socially stable environments. And he would put them together and work for about a half-year project. Just seeing each other, working with each other, seeing each other's differences, and working to create something. Because he realized that if we stop the people from recruiting, like if there's no one to recruit, they're not going to live anymore. So we still have right extremists in this city, but there is no recruitment. So eventually there will be no right extremists. But anyhow, so what impact did this have? Well, you can see a change in the whole city. There is no one walking around with a swastika on their arm. There is no one screaming in the streets like the thing they scream. And there's no more fighting. There's no more kids running around with steel pipes and chains beating each other up. So this had a big impact. But why am I talking about this here, from a small region in Sweden who had a big problem? Why am I talking about this in Georgia? Because I was also in this project when I was 14. And it had a big impact on me. And that's why I have decided to work with impact as well, but using a different tool. My name is Oskar, and today I will present the tool I'm using to create impact. And I will show you how we are using impact as a measurement for quality and how it's working as a factor of success. So I'm working with the worldwide expansion of something we call B2 Academy. And so this is my tool of impact. So this is different from the thing we used in the Swedish region. This is a different thing, but still impact. And who are we? So we are a Swedish-Ukrainian IT school who provides practical education to train valuable skills for the 21st century. And then you think, well, what is practical skills? Well, we say it's something that you should be able to learn, and then you should be able to work, to use it in real life. And we are a social enterprise, and we measure our success, imagine this success, by the social impact we create. And we do this, like with our mission, is to help people build a successful career in IT. Because we know that if someone has a successful career in IT, it will definitely have impact. But we did not start with these fancy words. We started in 2014 in Poltava, and this is a real illustration of Poltava. So Poltava is a city in Ukraine. It's a very nice city, but in 2014 there wasn't much to it. There was no IT companies. There was no spirit in the city. It was quite boring. But we decided that here's a big impact opportunity because there's a huge, young population, there's many universities, but nothing is happening. So we went inside with a grant from the Swedish government, and we started a course in front-end development for 4 months with the impact goal that everyone should have a job afterwards. So what impact did this have? Did we have any impact? Well, the impact we had first happened to the individual, always. Like the same in my region in Sweden, it happens to the individual, then the society changed. So we have Dima. Dima is a real person. He doesn't look like this, but he's a fictive person. So he works in Kiev as a front-end developer, and he was in the first batch in Poltava. And I asked Dima, because I was curious, like what was the impact? What changed in your life after this front-end development course? And it can sound a bit inflated to ask what was the impact, but I wanted to know like what was the measurable thing that actually happened. And he said to me like a week later when he had thought of it, he said that the first thing that he did after the course was to go to the dentist because he had never been to the dentist to fix his teeth so they wouldn't hurt anymore. And he said the second thing, he said, Oskar, that it's very hard to find good shoes in the second-hand shop because they never fit and they're usually worn out. So he said that he could buy new shoes. So this is the impact for Dima in Poltava. It will look different in all the cities for whoever we are educating. It will look different. But this is how it looks for Dima. And then you see, 1 to 2 years after, how the dynamics change in the city, how the city becomes like a member of the global IT sphere. You see international companies coming in. You see graduates starting companies. You said people start to work as freelancers. So now the city is bustling. It's so much activity in Poltava. It's crazy. And I think that since that was our first city, I think we have educated maybe 500 people in Poltava or something. And it's a really big change from 2014. And of course, this is not only us, it's all the companies that helped as well. That also came in and opened up companies and created work opportunities in Poltava. But in 2014, we were around, I think, 3 people working with the academy. But today we are a lot more. So today we are 15 people, so not everyone is here, but today we're around 15 people working only with the support function, supporting all the different regions and creating the product. And then we have 22 or 24 regional coordinators who are responsible for the local management of the academy. And then we have around 80 teachers, but they're all working on a freelance basis. And today, 2019, we are in 16 Ukrainian cities. And this has enabled us to have a lot of impact. So I think we just open up these 3 in the west here. Rivne, Ternopil, Ivano-Frankivsk, and Chernihiv. So this has been like a huge growth for the past years. And we started in Poltava, as you can see there. But what impact did we have? Like how can we measure it? Because we want to measure, we don't want to measure if someone can go to the dentist or if someone can buy new shoes or if someone don't feel afraid. But we measure how many graduates we have and how many of them get a job within 12 months within IT. Because if they get a job in retail, it doesn't count. So as for now, we have around 2,000 graduates and counting, where 70% is working in IT. So it's around 1,400 people working in IT. And by, I think it's April next year, we will have educated 1% of the Ukrainian IT force, which is quite good. And only 2019 we will have 1,300 graduates. So it's a huge growth. It's a growth more than any of us can imagine. But what do we mean by IT school? What are we actually selling? So this is also a big difference. When I talk to people and they say, oh, but what are you selling? You're selling courses. Well, we are providing the courses. But the student is not necessarily buying courses. Because we believe that they're buying a change. Because you want a change, so you buy something that would facilitate your change. But they are, of course, paying for courses. But they are buying impact. But today, and we offer this impact facilitator with 14 unique courses that we made in-house. And this is representative of some of them. So, for example, Python, backend, frontend, and UI UX design is the most popular ones. And this is because we know that these have a big demand from the market. Companies need these skills. And that's why we offer them. So we wouldn't offer anything that's not needed, because then we would have no impact. And all course is around 12 students, between 10 and 16, but no less than 10. And all the teachers are working professionals. So they're all, like they all have the ear to the ground to know what's happening. So we don't have any full-time teachers. And the courses are around 2 to 4 months long. Some are 1 month, but there are special courses. And it's around 8 hours per week offline. So we don't believe in only e-learning, for example. We want to meet the people. So we have offline content, always offline. And it's around 10 hours of independent studies per week for the students. And we also have, of course, English career and freelance modules to add it. And what else? Let's go back here. So most of our courses are around 4 months long. For example, the front-end development that Dima took in Poltava, that's 4 months long. Anyone can join the courses. Anyone that is motivated, because this is the most important thing, that they're motivated. So I have the 2 examples. I met a guy in Kharkiv, which is a city in East Ukraine, and he was 14 and he was studying. So he hadn't even started university. But he wanted to study UI UX design, which he did. And then we have the 54-year-old lady in Kiev who wanted to study, but because she wanted to know what her son was doing on his work time, because she had no idea what the design was. So anyone can join. And you see that there's two figures here, which takes us into our 2-year goals, or where we will be in 2 years. So in 2 years, we will have 20 schools in Ukraine. We know this for a fact. And we will have 4,000 graduates annually. So this means that in 2 years, we will educate, let's see here, more than 1.5% of the Ukrainian IT force annually. Of course, since we add to it, it will decrease over time. And in 2 years, we will also have gone global. So this is our big goal, to take this concept and to take it outside of Ukraine, because we know it works. And this brings us to our big, hairy, audacious goal, or a 10-year mission or vision. It will probably be more than 10 years. But we want to have 1 million students annually within B2 Academy while having impact. Because having 1 million students annually wouldn't mean anything for us if we didn't have impact. So we still have to have the 70% who gets a job, who we have impact for. But to do this, to go and have 1 million students, or to have 50,000 students, we cannot do this in Ukraine, because Ukraine is 55 million people, and there will be 2% per year of the total population we will educate. It's impossible. So we have to go abroad. We have to go to other countries. We have to go to other cities, to other regions, to other communities. And this might be your community, might be someone you know. So if you feel like being a part of our impact journey, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.